Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to take a tour of the modern software factory to really break down Azure DevOps. We're going to follow the entire assembly line, from that first spark of an idea all the way to a live application in the hands of a user.
You know, that's really the million-dollar question in software, isn't it? How do you get from that aha moment to a real working app? We're going to trace that exact path and see how a platform like Azure DevOps is the engine that makes it all happen.
So, what exactly is Azure DevOps? Well, let's stick with that software factory idea. It's not just one tool or a single wrench, it's the entire integrated toolkit. It's literally designed to manage every single stage of an application's life, from the initial blueprint all the way to shipping the final product. So if we open up this toolkit, what do we find inside? Well, for planning out the work, you've got Azure Boards. For managing all your source code, you have Repos, the automated assembly line itself that's powered by pipelines. And for all your software components, you've got a secure warehouse called Artifacts. It even has tools for test planning and a whole marketplace for extensions. It's all right there. Okay, so first things first, every great project starts with a solid plan, right? So our first stop in this factory tour is the planning department. This is where we figure out exactly what we're going to build before a single line of code gets written. And this is where we hit a super common roadblock. You've got this amazing breakthrough idea, but now what? How do you turn that spark into an actual, organized plan that everyone on the team can get behind and follow? And that's where Azure Boards comes in. It is your project management command center. You can break down your really big ideas, which we call epics, into smaller chunks called features, and then into individual tasks called user stories. You can see your whole workflow on a Kanban board, with columns for to do, doing, and done. It helps you plan work in short cycles called sprints, and you can track all of your progress with live dashboards. All right, our plan is in place. Now it's time to actually draw up the blueprints. And in the software world, of course, that means writing the code. This is all about creating the detailed plans for what we're about to build. So here's the thing. When you have a bunch of developers all working on the same code base, how do you make sure things don't, break? The answer is having a really strong system for version control with automated quality checks. And that is exactly what Azure Repos is for. Okay, this is where it gets really cool. Azure Repos lets you set up these simple rules, called branch policies, that act like an automated safety net. For example, you can require that at least 2 people have to review every code change. You can make sure every change is linked back to a requirement. And maybe most importantly, you can block any code that breaks the build. It's automated quality control. Okay, our blueprints are drawn up and they're quality checked. Now we're heading to the real heart of the factory, the automation engine. This is the assembly line where we build and ship our software, and it's all powered by Azure Pipelines. Now, when you're building this assembly line, you've pretty much got 2 choices. There's the classic way, which uses a graphical interface. It's fine for simple stuff. But the modern recommended way to go is YAML. This means your entire pipeline is defined in a text file. It's literally code. And because it's code, it lives right next to your application. You can version control it, and you can reuse it. It's incredibly powerful. So this assembly line has 2 main parts. The first one is called continuous integration, or CI. Think of it as the first quality control station. Every single time a developer pushes a new piece of code, this process kicks off automatically. It pulls the code, builds the app, and this is the crucial part, it runs all the automated tests. If anything fails, the team knows about it in minutes. And once CI gives us the green light and says, yep, this code is good to go, the second part of the assembly line kicks in, continuous deployment, or CD. This pipeline takes that package and starts moving it safely towards your customers. It'll deploy to a dev environment first, then maybe to a QA environment for more testing. It can even pause for a final human approval. And then, boom, it ships to production. But a great factory isn't just the assembly line, right? You need a secure warehouse for your parts, you need security guards, you need rules and governance. So now let's look at the rest of the ecosystem that provides all that critical stuff. So let's talk about that warehouse. That's Azure Artifacts. Imagine this. Modern software uses tons of open source parts from all over the internet. Well, instead of just grabbing them from anywhere, Artifacts lets you create your own private, secure warehouse for these parts. It gives you total control over your software supply chain. And security isn't just some optional add-on here. It is baked into everything. We're talking about really important principles like least privilege, which just means you only get access to what you absolutely need and nothing more. It means using secure connections and never, ever storing secrets like passwords in plain text. You put those in a digital vault. It protects the whole process.
And get this, the automation doesn't just stop with your application. Using a practice called infrastructure as code, you can actually define your entire cloud environment, the servers, the databases, all of it, as code files using tools like Terraform. Your pipeline can then build not just your app, but the entire environment it runs in. It's a game changer for consistency.
Okay, we've done the full factory tour. We've seen how all the machines work and how they fit together. So the big question now is, how do you get started building your own? Let's walk through a super practical checklist. This is your roadmap, plain and simple. You start with the basics, get your organization and projects set up, then you move right into your code and pipelines, making sure you have those safety nets, those branch policies, in place. From there, you layer on automated testing. Then you configure your deployment environments, and finally, you wrap the whole thing in top-notch security. Just follow the steps. And there you have it. That is the blueprint for building a modern, automated, and secure software factory. With these tools and this plan, you can get your ideas out to your users faster and more reliably than ever before. The factory design is on the table. The only question left is, what are you going to build first?